Hi everyone, I'm going to talk about my debci project with Outreachy. And I'm the 2019 May to August round intern. And I'm Candy, and on my IRC KANDI. Prior to my internship, I'm a front-end developer, and the things I work with is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and with like frameworks with React. So Ruby is very new to me. Through the process of making small contributions, it felt good, and Tassiro and Elbrus were all very nice people. And although not a lot of people are working on debci, but it feels very active. And I prefer small communities myself, so I think it's a perfect fit for me. The goal of debci is to make sure that the packages will pass their tests before a major Debian release. And for individual developers, it's a place where you can request a test for your packages. My internship project is to improve the user experience of the ci.debian.net website, which I work on a UI to let users submit their tests and see the tests that they submitted. Currently, for developers that want to request their own tests, they have to go to the API section and then read through this, and then they will find here a place that how they should formulate their JSON request, and then they should send their requests by curl, postman, etc., which is not so user-friendly. And plus, when they finish their tests, for example, if I ran a test for Vagrant, I have to click through here and then click into Vagrant and then check which architecture and suite I'm in, and then click into it to see my test's results. So my project is to work on a self-service section, which can let users send their requests on the website, and then they can also see their results, like a whole list, and without doing all that clicking. So the current progress is that we can go into the self-service section, and then we have a request test section where we can choose from upload a JSON file or just submit a test request form. And the other part is the show history section, which will show all of what has been ran by this user, and you can use filters such as architecture. See, we have AMD 64 and ARM here, and then we just want AMD 64. So we can apply filters to it. So the challenges I had were setting up the environment, which was really frustrating, and I decided to also write a Vagrant file so that when other newcomers are coming into the debci project, they don't have to set up everything from scratch. And another challenge is not familiar with Ruby, but that's also why I chose this project. The biggest problem was that my merge requests over time got too big and became too hard to merge. Another is the time difference with my mentors. Me, Elbrus, and Tassiro, we live in 3 completely different time zones, so our meetings had to take place at only a certain time because that's the time that was perfect for all of us. And it's my first time doing remote work, so I had a lot of guilt, like I was watching Netflix when I was coding, or when I was waiting for Vagrant to build, I went and cooked something to eat, and that's really weird. You don't get that in an everyday office environment. I mentioned that I had really large merge requests, so we had a pair programming session where Tassiro sat down and we took a few hours. He demonstrated how to make my merge request smaller and more easier to review. And also because I'm not a user of debci, so I had to know more about debci from my mentors so that I can deliver features that might be more relevant to the actual users that are using it. As for code reviews, they were also a big help because that's our main means of communication, because we live in very different parts of the world, so we can't always be awake, and they were always very, very supportive. Through this process, the biggest thing I've learned is that some people will not enable their JavaScript when they're using the website, because for sites such as Facebook or Twitter, they always give you this big fat warning: if you don't turn on your JavaScript, you will not be able to use the site properly. And this also made me realize that sometimes the users are doing things that you are not expecting them to do, which means that the code I wrote for debci will always have support for non-JavaScript users. That's it for my sharing, and hope you all have a great time at DebConf. This is where to find debci.